There we go. What is going on, everybody? Yes, end that live video on Instagram. Yeah, share it. Share it right now. Yo, what's going on? We're doing something new, brand new. For those who are tuned into the Instagram, there you go, Zach13. Ooh, oops. There we go. Those who are live on my Instagram know that I'm going to be reading some fanfics, actually live today. Figured I wouldn't start out immediately with that. Got some people that are going to be popping in. Want them to have every opportunity to hear their fanfics. I actually have one of the followers. Jesus, that needs to stop. Okay. Technical difficulties when IRL streaming, meaning it's you got to remember, turn off the pre-roll audio. Jesus, man, Jesus. Sounding good on my background, not too loud, looking good. Thanks. I actually, this is the first time I've done face cam in a while now. I was like, no one wants to see, a 27-year-old dude in Twitch and everything. It's like, not really everybody's cup of tea if I don't destroy my mic stand, because it's blocking my face, all of it. So yeah, we're gonna be doing some fanfics later. I've got some nicely curated ones. I've got War of the Willows, written by one of my good friends, one of my loyal followers, Gildy. Okay. Then I've got a couple ones that were also recommended, called the Shattered Mind issue. I don't know what that one's about. I actually have not read it completely. And then I've got the Magician's ones. I am a Ninja is 27. There's hope for us yet. Yeah, I don't know about comparing to Ninja. As of late, it's a little spooky. He's been a little bit... he's no longer top streamer. Someone else took it over. And I'm a little bit excited for that. It gives everybody who is not who is not a Fortnite player a little bit of hope. Specifically a Fortnite streamer. So yeah, I'm like, okay. But I was like, face cam, maybe not so much. But I was like, you know what? IRL seems like the perfect time to bring it back. Maybe this will be a thing. I'd like to turn Fridays into a let's read some fanfic together. Well, I've got some that are also from the Magicians, and I'm a huge Magicians fan. It's Christmas again. Exactly. Christmas again, part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I'm surprised I got that one right. I gotta be honest. I've got some Magicians fanfics picked out. I picked out a couple, and then I figured we can just go read some extra ones. I'm a huge fan of the show. Zach, if you haven't watched it, please do. It's on the first 3 seasons are on Netflix. You gotta do it. It's outstanding. The way they have their magic system, it works. It's amazing. The characters feel real, fleshed out, and live, rather than example Harry Potter, which I like the Harry Potter series. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes the Harry Potter series is like, yeah, we all know they'll be fine because they're the main 3 characters, but when the Magicians does it, it's like, oh, they might not be all right because the characters are flawed and broken in their own individual ways, which makes them feel live, living in flesh, rather than just kind of blah. Is the audio loud enough? Is that not picking it up? Deo Hex Machina. Exactly. There we go. I think I picked up the audio. But yeah, exactly. Deus Ex Machina, where it's like, how's the background noise, background music, by the way? Is it too loud or anything? Yo, what up, Gildy? How are you doing today? Thank you. I appreciate that. Every man deserves to be called sexy once in a while. You don't see it often enough on the Twitch scene or in real life, honestly. I was having this conversation with someone of like, in our culture, men don't have a whole lot of choices as clothing-wise. I guess, you know, that's really a first-world problem of like, you know, it's a first-world problem among first-world problems. You know. Outstanding. Background noise sounds perfect. I was talking about the Deus Ex Machina of Harry Potter. When they do something, the King of Soccer me's Messi. How are you doing today, there, bud? We're getting ready to do some fan fictions here. I'm excited for it. We got the first one up is actually written by Gildy. I'm doing outstanding. Got a little bit of the nose congestion, so if you hear me making noises, forgive me. I'll try not to do it directly into the mic. But otherwise, I'm excited. This is the first time I've done a IRL stream in ever. And this is the first time I've had my face cam on in ever. So, you know, it's one of those, like, I'm excited for it. Did a little bit something different. Got some background music playing today. You know, that sort of thing. So Gildy, if you're here, do you want me to go ahead and read your War of the Willows? How many chapters? Which chapters? Well, I think I'll read chapter 1. I've got options of chapter 1, just chapters, chapter 4, 7, 7 aftermath. Let's start with 1, and I will read the introduction if you want, or we can just go straight in to chapter 1. How would you, as the author, how would you like it read? Do you want the introduction, then chapter 1, or how do you want it written? And also, I'm recording this separately so that I can just have that smooth, buttery audio. There we go. Got the jaw to pop. That'll help. Intro's cool. Intro, prologue, chapter 1. What do you call in the prologue? Okay. Okay. Since it's all one big piece. Okay. Oh, the letting you know I'm still watching, just working. I'll be chiming in every now and again. That's awesome, Zach. I hope you get your work done too. Okay. Let me get something to drink, and we'll get War of the Willows. Okay. And this will actually be Sans music. This is a separate recording, so we'll be good there. So, Gildy, if you're ready, I'll go ahead and read it. I won't be able to tune in on comments while I'm reading it, but lots of people tell me they love this story. Good. Then you can have your way with my audio. So I won't be able to respond to comments while I'm reading this, but please leave them. Please leave them. Know that I am looking at them and they fill my heart with glee. But I want to get this. I want to get this read in one solid chunk. That way, the audio is all nice and clean. For other people as well. And then I'll go back. We'll read your comments, talk a little bit, then we'll read another fanfic. So we're not just gonna just go through it all in 15 minutes and be like, fuck, I don't have nothing for the next 4.5 hours. Or however long I said, 3 hours. So, without further ado, let's get this going. War of the Willows by Fantasy Ficker. Introduction. I think that we can all agree that 3, 7, and 9 are 3 of the most powerful numbers when dealing with magic. The same is seen here as Dark Willow has just attempted to summon the powers of the Temple of Morgana, its incorrect name. Dark Willow has thrice attempted this and failed because of the brave efforts of a young man named Xander. This young man, Xander, and the once Dark Willow wept upon the ground together. Giles' plan to get the dark powers in Willow Rosenberg to flee seems to have worked. Yet has it? Remember, the 3 is a very powerful summoning number when one is using magic. Thrice and done. Chapter 1. Oh, the soft, sweet taste of her lover, light bringer, and above all, best friend's lips. Perfection. At last, also wait. Suddenly, the blissful atmosphere was turning sour. Wrong. There was a sharp pain somewhere from deep within herself, and a tearing sensation of her young, tender breast. No, what was happening? Her favorite person in the entire physical cosmos was slowly fading away. Blackness. All at once, there was an amber-colored light of all light. At once, there was an amber-colored sort of light all around her. Warm air greeted her form sweetly. She felt a feeling of great contentment, of peace. But no, this was wrong. Something was off somehow. What had happened to her? Hello? Tara? Tara spun around in shock at the sound of the voice, more than its sudden appearance. She had known that voice for months. Oh yes, she knew that voice very well indeed. Miss Summers? It was Buffy's mother, whom had died right in the living room of the Summers home. I'm confused. What is this place? How did I get here? It's freaky. Those are almost everybody's first few questions. I am in complete understanding and agreement, Tara. I, for one, am still reeling with the meeting with my Buffy herself. Whether or not to tell this poor, broken-hearted woman what had happened that fateful night. For a few seconds only. Then Tara did. Oh, that is why I thought she'd want to stay with me. Not that she should have died in the first place, of course, but I knew about her work. Miss Summers left the sentence hanging. Tara sought to reassure the woman behind those now tear-filled eyes. She didn't want to leave. My love. She sort of brought her back again. You should have seen her. It was awful. She wanted to come back so bad. She was so depressed, and now I know why. I'm so sorry, Miss Summers. We should have thought about that beforehand. Tara said all of this in short, clipped tones of one who is trying not to weep, gasping upon every word, choking upon every syllable. Sighing heavily, Miss Summers took up Tara's hands in both of hers. It's okay. Really, Tara. You must be missing her already, too. It took great tact for Summers not to mention Tara's best friend's name, who must be in agony, just as Tara was herself now. Tara could only nod as tears filled her blue eyes. Not even being dead seemed to matter to Tara at all. Not really. Tara only cared about her bonded one, her soulmate. What must she be going through now? Unadvised. This time, both women jump at the sound of a new voice issuing from a grandmotherly woman whom just appeared beside Tara. You're Wiccan, correct, Tara McCallie? Not knowing how this kindly seeming woman could just possibly know her name. Tara nodded. Salutations. I'm your goddess. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know this is quite hard on you, young Wiccan. What we are standing in is a sort of an awaiting chamber. This is where a soul sits, stands, lies, and what have you, while they await their preferred deity. Oh, it was all that Tara was able to utter, and very faintly at that. Ma'am? Tara asked very shyly. Yes? Why is it that I not see any others waiting for their deities? Ah, I have drawn a privacy veil around you, so that only you and your loved ones may see in or visit you. Gandhi is still waiting for the Allah. You see, it can take a while. The frightening thought was just there in Tara's head. She blurted out before she could stop herself. If all the other deities are busy with other important matters, and hypothetically it takes a while to get to their worshippers, that means you're seeing me now because of something very huge, right? Indeed. We usually come right away if another loved one of yours is about to join you. In this case, it is not likely, as Willow has taken black power into herself, to the point where the light side of her has been expelled itself. Willow is the power in the Force prison. Willow is now evil in totality, as the light side and dark side of such a being cannot dwell in 2 dimensions at once. Her light half will be punished as well. There is a great crisis of great concern and vast importance to all taking place on Earth right now. Oh, no, Tara mumbled. Tara was suddenly at the mercy of a tidal wave of raw emotion as she tearfully whispered her beloved's name. The name that was so very painful to utter. This was because it reminded Tara of the fight that her and her lover had not long ago. They had only just repaired the damage. It was hard to utter her name. Then it was ever more agonizing to bring it to her lips now. She did so now, though with a massive effort. Had she really lost her love forever? No, it couldn't be. Tara said her best friend's name through her silent tears. She felt so lost and alone now. Oh, Willow. That's the end of chapter 1 of The War of the Willows by fantasy ficker, otherwise known as Gildy. That was awesome. The entire time my lip tickled, and I don't know why. It bugged me. Let's go back and check what was said. I know a couple people popped in. Yo, it's Wolfaroo. I don't know if you're still here. Sorry, I was reading a fanfic, so I didn't want to interrupt that real fast, but I seen you. And I wanted to say welcome to the stream. Thank you for greeting him, Soccer Messi. I appreciate that. Zach said, this is perfect tonal content to work to. Not gonna lie. I have been told that I have a nice voice to that speaks well, so I hope that helps. You know, let's see. Yeah. So it was fun reading it. Like I said, my lip tickled the entire time, and I'm pretty sure it's because of my mustache, which needs to go away at this point. It's getting a little bit long on the tooth, as it were. But Gildy, what did you think? How did you like your story being read live? Figure we can wait a couple minutes before we read the next one. There we go. Love how it says there's more messages down below. I should have called chapter 1 of the mustache tickler. Yes, I liked it. I flubbed a couple lines, but you know, for the first time, it wasn't so bad. I enjoyed it. I forgot how bad my writing was. I wouldn't put that all on you. I was actually reading it, and I on occasion have a hard time following a line structure. So I'll be like, line, okay, where's the next line start? Oh, did I skip a line? I was worried a little bit. So I wouldn't panic too bad about it. Also, it does not help. I have literally never seen a single episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I didn't know how to... Is it Tara? I was like, that's spooky, to have to say. How are you doing today there, King of Soccer? I hope you're doing outstanding. I myself, I'm doing not too bad. Okay. I say it Tare. Good. That's awesome. It is Friday. The Friday before New Year's. Granted, we still have Monday to go. And if you're like me, you have to work on Monday. But we'll make it. We'll make it. We got this weekend to plan a whole weekend of debauchery. Toro. Got it. I don't know that the line helped. The line break helped there. So anybody else? Anybody have any good plans for the weekend? Because that'll be awesome if you do. If you don't, that's fine as well. I'm probably gonna hang around and play my game. Monster Hunter World is so good. Writing fanfics, good. If this turns out to be as good as I hoped, we'll be doing this again next Friday. It's Friday. I thought it was Wednesday all day. Don't you hate that when you're like, oh, wait, okay, is Wednesday a good thing for you, or is Wednesday like, oh Jesus, I still have Thursday and Friday to go? Fuck. It is great seeing you. Thanks. This is a new thing, and don't forgive my sounding stuffiness just a little bit. For some reason, I woke up this morning. I was like, oh my God, what the shit is going on? I've got stuffy nose. I shall persevere and not make disgusting noises into the mic, or if I do, I will mute it, or try to remember to mute it. But yeah, no, I actually really enjoy reading content like this. It's really fun to do that sort of thing. As you know me, I enjoy doing podcasts. I've been doing them for 2.5, 3 years, and I'm getting ready to, you are one part turkey. You know what? I did not eat a single shred of turkey on Christmas. Or did I have some on Thanksgiving? I did have on Thanksgiving. I dig how relaxed this is, truly. That's awesome. I try to have generally relaxed streams. I know Monday, Tuesday can be somewhat a little bit more high energy. We play Monster Hunter World, Guild Wars, that sort of thing. But Fridays, it's nice to relax. Get yourself a nice cup of tea, which I hope you make tea. If you're not a tea drinker, try it. Or if you're not a tea drinker, I found something that's really good to do and really tasty. Did my music stop? It did. There we go. Hang on one second. Okay. So get yourself a tea, some loose leaf tea, and get yourself some vanilla Greek yogurt. Jesus shit, what is going on with my ambient music? You're ruining it. How was your day, Derek? It was not bad. I worked at home all day. So I got to hang out at home, watched some Monster Hunter tutorials. Was looking at this. Holy Jesus shit. Hey, that is going to be a shirt at some point. Been really working hard. Been working at home a lot, which there's a lot more stress when working at home. What is going on with my music? You really need to consider not, maybe. So we need ambient. Pretzel, you screwed me. What are you doing? As for my weekend, I'll be sculpting for a costume for a convention in Boston. Dude, that's awesome. What are you going as? Or who are you sculpting for? And plus, this gives me time to actually, talk to you guys. Talk to you all and be like, hey, let's actually chat. Because sometimes during gaming sessions, it's easy to miss a message and everything like that. Which is not bad. That's not to say I don't want to do it anymore. Ambient Pretzel should be a band name. It really should be. But Pretzel should just be working at this point. Otherwise, it's just not for me. And I'd like it to work very much right now. Okay, there we go. Pretzel rocks. Play in browser. There we go. Myself, a JoJo character. I'm sculpting his stand from complete scratch. That's awesome. Yeah, I think Pretzel's dead. So, why don't we do the next best thing? Find copyright-free music. Nope, that is definitely not copyright-free music. That will absolutely screw me over. There we go. That's what I was listening to earlier. There we go. There we go. This week on The Walking Bread. Get it? Because that's what pretzel is. Exactly. Exactly. I liked this music. I was listening to it, reading some of the fanfics. I was like, this is the music that will be doing it. This is the music. So what stand are you doing? Now, be in mind that I don't know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I know just enough to meme it, which is just about how I do everything. But yeah, I'm hoping that this becomes a thing. You know, I like to make this more of a thing. Get more viewer interaction. Reading fanfics, because I know there are people who, much like a Twitch streamer, there are people who write fanfics that will never get them read by anybody more than 4 people. And I like to find those people. The people that maybe they don't have the circle of friends that shares their strong passion for The Magicians or Firefly, because clearly the executives at Fox didn't care for it. But I'd like to find those fanfics and like dive into them, because I like fan culture. You know, it's something unique. Or Buffy. Again, I've never seen Buffy. I missed that entire train at that point. Yeah, I missed that entire Buffy train, which is kind of sad. I was like, oh, okay. I know it's on Netflix or it's on Hulu. You should fix that. I should. I just finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I have time. And The Magicians doesn't start for like another month, so 23 days. So I should be fine to go finish it. Hulu. Okay, I'll have to finish it. All stands are named after Western musicians. This particular stand is called Sex Pistol, which are tiny little monsters that live inside of a gun and ride bullets and move them as need be. That sounds awesome. It reminds me, so the Sex Pistols, it reminds me of Danny Sex Bang from Ninja Sex Party. But Sex Pistol, that's awesome. I really need to watch JoJo. It's probably on Verve. If not, I'm sure that I can find it somewhere. But God, that sounds like a great stand. So I can only imagine like having to model tiny little monsters, like little moats from My Neighbor Totoro. That's all I can imagine them as. Let's look it up. Let's see. Sex Pistol. Oh my God. Why is that the first search in Google? Sorry, did not mean to bash the microphone. I literally typed in Sex Pistol, which I misspelled pistol, let's be honest. First autocorrect. Sex Pistols JoJo. The main character at one point feeds his hung fine deli meats before, and the new guy was like, "What are you doing?" Hung fine deli meats. That they almost remind me of. So looking at them, they almost remind me of like viruses from Cells at Work. Or the cold creatures from Spirited Away. Gun. Oh, okay. Oh. Feeds his gun fine deli meats for a fight. Nice. They remind me of like the viruses from Cells at Work. Guilty Sins. Or the cold creatures from Spirited Away. Yes. I think that's one of the few Ghibli films that I haven't seen in a very, very long time. Number. Oh, they've got numbers? I'm gonna have to watch JoJo at some point. So you watch Cells at Work. You need to. It's really good. Sex Pistols kicks a bullet into the target. Jesus. Oh, dude, it is. I love Spirited by such a masterpiece. Okay, you need to watch Cells at Work, but if you're gonna watch one anime between Cells at Work and Yuri on Ice, watch Yuri on Ice. That anime is so relaxing. It is just a 1 through 7, omitting 4 because it's unlucky. Exactly. 4 is unlucky in Japan, just like 7 is unlucky here. No, not 7 is unlucky. 13 is unlucky. So Yuri on Ice is amazing. Oh, dude, thank you. Thank you. Other people who love Yuri on Ice. I've tried to introduce it to other people, and they're like, oh, who cares? And I'm like, I care. First and foremost, I do. Even my wife's like, I don't care about this. I'm like, it's good. It's an anime that I can just put on, and there's a statistical probability, having talked about it, I will put it on after I go about that. How about Fate? I have watched like 5 episodes of Fate and was like, I'm fucking lost. I don't know what's going on. Can you feel? Okay, so do you have a favorite Yuri on Ice character? Besides Yuri, both Yuris, Yurio and Yuri, and Victor. Do you have a favorite other skater? Mine is King JJ. I watched Yuri on Ice and I had an ice day. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I watched Yuri on Ice and was like, I need to learn how to ice skate. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds, some kids watch Dragon Ball Z and was like, I'm gonna go into the backyard and run around and scream and charge up my power, my ki. And I'm like, I never did that. JJ. I gotta remember how to do the JJ hands. It's like that, maybe? You gotta angle it to the camera, JJ. So it's one of those, you need to watch it, King of Soccer. You need to watch it. Like, it is a feel-good anime that it's just, there is multiple layers to it. And I think that they actually wholeheartedly introduced this concept like in the first episode. I'll do it for a vid. I honestly had planned my channel. I've never skated. I do want to do it for a vid. Is there any good character besides JJ? I don't think so. Yeah, there's plenty of other good characters. There is, God, who's the, other kid? There is, not Yuri Pletsky. I'm looking it up. There is, Jean-Jacques. I was like, I know the other character. There's, that's JJ. Then there's, Pitchit and Kinjiro. But I think we can all agree Christoph Giametti is the most lewd. L space E space W space D, and I like it. But no, Zach, if you're in the Louisville area, let's go skating. Let's go bust our ass on some ice, snap an ankle, and go. Was it worth it? Fuck yes, it was. Excuse me, my friend tried to. My friends tried so hard to turn into a Super Saiyan 3 that he sharded. I feel like there was a video on the internet where the kids like it's one of the greatest videos where you're going, for your sake, I kind of hope you do it, but I'm kind of hoping that you don't, because I feel like you'd be terrifying because you truly believe in this. But yeah, let's go snap some ankles. I'm based in Louisville. Let's go Iceland. I think it's still open. Let's do it. Super Saiyan Brown. Yeah, let's go snap some ankles and wrists and be like, going to work on Monday or Wednesday for me and be like, why do you have a snapped ankle and a wrist? Well, you see, I didn't apparently have the power of God and anime at my side. I clearly only had the power of anime, and the good anime giveth, and the good anime taketh away. Which, thankfully, I work at a desk job, so if I snapped an ankle, it'd be fine. Be like, okay, whatever. Super duper Saiyan Brown. More like super pooper Saiyan Brown. Yeah, let's do it, Zach. Anime do everything. Everything. I had a wife and I had a kid and I had a home. I watched anime once and it's all gone now. Now all I have is my Sakura body pillow. Which I don't know that they make a Sakura body pillow, which is kind of terrifying. Let's do it. Let's talk over Instagram. Let's do it. Ooh, that's what I need. I need some terrifyingly lewd Yuri on Ice fanfic. Fan fiction. I'm naked alone on the side of the street with a Vegeta wine glass in one hand and hopes in the other. Exactly. Exactly. What is K+? Okay, Gildy, help me out here. When something is rated K+ on fanfiction.com, what does that mean? What does it mean? Will there be a next time? That just looks like straight up HTML code. Sure. It's just teen. Okay, cool. Outstanding. K in Spanish. Awesome. Okay, but we've got other ones to read. Let's go ahead and read another one. M's are forbidden now. What? Well, I mean, it's not Tumblr anymore. Okay, so this one is actually kind of long. So again, while I'm reading it, I'm not going to be able to respond as well because I lose my line of sight. I'm terrible about reading. I read fast. I don't read well. I read actually at high level though. But a ton about ratings for fanfiction.net. Okay, let's get to the next one, which appears to be a Final Fantasy IX fanfic. Let me clear out my throat. Okay. Let's do this. It was, let me get this recording in. And then we'll get this going. Remember, when I'm reading, I won't be able to respond as quickly to messages as possible. But leave them still. And please, I don't think I've ever said this on stream before. Share this with your friends. If your friends write fanfics, or if they don't, or if they like anything, please invite them. I think this will be fun to read together. Okay. Shattered Mind Issues by Crimson Rogue, a Final Fantasy IX fanfiction. It was another cloudy day on campus. I stared up at the sky as I walked back to my dorm. It looked like it was about to rain, as usual. I don't think I had seen a blue sky in months. It was always some ugly shade of gray. It felt somewhat fitting at the time, though. My father really let me have it earlier. My grades were horrible. 3 C's and a D? My father yelled at me. It made sense for him to be pissed off. College was expensive. I have an A in Tai Chi, I said, trying my best to calm him down. Of course, the only thing we got graded on in that class was a 2-page paper on the history of Tai Chi. Even so, I had been doing it for a year, and was pretty good at it, if I do say so myself. That's not an academic, he bellowed. Trevor, I want you to go study from now until you go to bed. I couldn't fight him on this. If I argued too much, he might threaten to cut off my tuition. Yeah, alright, I sighed. Dad, I'm gonna go get something to eat, I said, trying to sound more upbeat. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you later. Bye. My father wasn't a bad person. He could just be a little harsh at times. He meant well, but I wasn't really in the mood to do anything, especially not study. If that wasn't enough, it was November, the month that my mother's brother and sister died. It was a tough month for everyone. I met my uncle only a few times. He was nice. He even bought me a mini synthesizer when I was 4. He died a few months later. I never had the opportunity to meet my aunt. The wind blew my hair in my face from behind me. I hated it when it did that. If I had shorter hair, it might not have been so problematic, but my hair grew below my shoulder blades. I hated having short hair. I couldn't keep it short because whenever I did, it would curl up on me. I hated having curly hair. I preferred my wavy hair. I walked past the field where Sword Club met. I wished it was Friday, so that I could vent some of this frustration in Combat Sword Club, where a group of my friends started out our love of swords and medieval combat. We only met on Tuesdays and Fridays. And here I was, stuck on Wednesday. Also, if it was Friday, the next day would be Saturday, and that meant pancakes for breakfast. Pancakes always were, and always will be, my anti-drug. Mostly because they were more like a drug to me in the first place. My roommate suggested I check myself into rehab if I managed to load 25 pancakes onto my plate on one occasion, which I promptly ate. I looked back up at the sky just as a raindrop fell in my eye. Great. It was raining. And here I am, 5 minutes from my dorm. If it weren't for the class, the stress, the bad food, and the endless supply of drunken morons, college might have been fun. I just sighed as I headed for the campus pizzeria. I walked into my room, finishing my slice of what could pass for pizza. It was really just crust with cheese on it, and the sauce is the best part of a pizza. Oh well, as long as it didn't kill me. Hey, my roommate said. He was busy watching anime on his computer. I didn't bother to ask which one. Oi, I responded blandly. He paused his show and looked up. Rough day? He asked. I ate the last bit of crust from my pizza and sat on the edge of my bed. My father saw my grades, I explained. Oh, ouch. He knew about my grades, since I always complained about them. I guess I really was at fault for not studying enough. But damn it, studying was hard. I got distracted too easily. Bloody ADD. I laid down on my bed and tried to relax. It was hard to do considering the guilt trip my father put me through. I hated days like this. Normally, I was laid back, somewhat goofy, quiet guy of the group. But now, oh well. I closed my eyes and settled in for a quick nap. Before too long, I was asleep. I had an odd dream. I was floating above a ship, or at least, it looked like a ship. It had propellers on top, was way too flashy for a normal ship. It was docked in... Wait, that can't be right. It was sitting in a small pool of water. It had no access to the sea. Why would someone build a ship in a place like this? I had weird dreams. I felt the wind blow in my hair as I started falling closer and closer to the water. Oh boy, a falling dream. I watched as the water approached me at an alarming rate. I closed my eyes, ready to wake up, when I hit. There was a sudden rush of cold as I fell under the water's surface. My pulse quickened. I looked around and saw the bottom of the ship. I coughed, and the rest of my air escaped in little bubbles. I watched as they raced toward the surface. Alright, this is getting a little too real. My lungs started to burn. They hurt. Why did they hurt? If this was a dream, why did they hurt? Dream or not, I swam up towards air. My arms quickly became heated and tired. The lack of oxygen was already getting at me. Just as I felt my succumbing to unconsciousness, I broke the surface of the water. My breaths were quick and shallow. I floated on top of the water as I got a feeling for my surroundings. Okay, I'm floating in a pool next to the weirdest ship I've ever seen after I fell from the sky for no good reason. Peachy. Wasting my time here was getting me nowhere. I gathered my strength and swam to the ship's side, looking for a way in. After a few seconds, I found an open window. I managed to pull myself in, although with some difficulty. Hey, you try climbing in a 3-foot-high window while swimming in a pool. I fell into what looked like a boiler room. There was a huge tank next to me with pipes leading to different parts of the ship. There was also a stairway leading up another floor. All in all, the room was huge. My clothes were soaked. I tried to wring out my shirt. There's just so much I could do. I found a wall to lean against and decided to rest. I wasn't sure what was going on, but I figured that if I got some rest, I might be able to sort things out later. Maybe I wasn't that far away from campus. Although, whoever did this would rue the day they decided to get me drunk, stoned, or whatever else, and do all of this to me. I didn't get much of a chance to rest, because I heard loud clang after a minute, followed by another, then a third. It didn't sound like something that a boiler should be making. I sat up to check it out, but I backed off when I heard the voices from the second floor. Wow, you're really athletic, princess. I think I'm falling for you. This is nothing. I've been trained to escape the castle after all. Wait, I know those lines. What a waste. If only you weren't the princess. We have no time for idle banter. Come, let us move on. Those lines were from Final Fantasy IX. I played that game more times than I can remember, but there was no way this was real. Someone must have been setting me up. I was about to follow them when I remembered something. I ran back into the shadows as a Pluto Knight jumped onto the boiler and ran after the people who were just here talking. Better safe than sorry. But if I was right, then that was blank. I ran up the stairs and pressed myself against the wall next to the door frame. I heard voices from the next room. You can just... That must have been Zidane. Leave the princess. That one was Sienna. To us. That was Zidane, Sienna, and Blank together. The sounds of battle echoed through the room. Metal clashing against metal as the members of Tantalus fought to keep the Princess of Alexandria under their protection. What was I thinking? I was taking everything too seriously. This was just some dumb trick that someone was playing on me. At some point soon, everyone involved was going to jump out and yell, "We got you, Trevor!" I'd smack them upside the head for throwing me in a pool, then we'd all have a nice laugh and go get takeout or something. I heard an explosion and what sounded like metal crashing to the ground from the next room, followed by, No, I hate Oglops. I took a chance and looked through the doorway. Sienna, Blank, and Steiner were all running around trying to avoid a bunch of giant bugs. I didn't believe it. They really looked like video game characters. Zidane grabbed a hooded girl's arm and ran out of the room. One of the Oglops bounded towards me, and I caught it in my hand. I examined it to make sure it was real. It wriggled in my grasp as I tried to accept what I was seeing. This is impossible. This is biologically impossible. How the hell? Whoever was setting this up was doing a hell of a good job. I let the Oglop go and turned back to see what was going on in the room. Most of the other Oglops were gone, probably crawled into the floorboards. Only Blank was left in the room. He dusted himself off and hung his sword on a wall, possibly so that it wouldn't rattle around later. He ran up a stairway on the left of the room. I walked up to the sword, took it off the wall. It was a two-handed broadsword. Perfect! Just what we train with in Sword Club. Checking the edges, I found the blade to be quite sharp. This blade was battle ready. I took it and looked around from some way up to the stage. The only way I could see looked like the stairs Blank just took. I crept up the stairway as quietly as I could. Even if this was some very elaborate trick, I was going to have to kick someone's ass later. I decided it was better to go out and look good in a fight. Ugh, I guess I had too much testosterone in my system. I looked out on stage and saw Marcus locking swords with one of the Pluto Knights. Zidane was busy with Steiner. I couldn't see the other Pluto Knight anywhere. They probably took care of him already. Vivi and Garnet were standing back. Vivi was shaking from fear, I assumed. Garnet seemed to be yelling at Steiner, but whatever she was saying, I couldn't hear it over the audience. They seemed to enjoy the fight. Suddenly, Marcus broke through the Pluto Knight's defense, was able to land a serious blow to his gut. He then used the pommel of his sword, and the tip of the handle, to hit the knight in the head and knock him on his back. The Pluto Knight struggled to his feet. My wrath ends here. He ran faster than I thought possible in that armor. That was Hagen's line. With him gone, only Steiner was left. Fortunately for me, Zidane backed off and regrouped with Marcus. My turn. I rushed out on stage, holding the sword low and at my side. As I passed Zidane and Marcus, I raised the sword above my head and swung it down, hard at my feet. I pole vaulted and kicked Steiner square in the chest. He fell back and almost slid off the stage. I pried my sword loose and slung it over my shoulder with my right arm while pocketing my left. I went over a checklist in my head. Blue jeans, dark blue shirt, awesome hair, cool sword, and a great entrance. Yes, I look good. I turned to face Zidane and the others. Oi! I said my usual greeting with a smirk. Who the hell are you? Zidane asked bluntly. Part of me died right there. I just gave the coolest entrance I could, and all I got was a response that was as cold as can be. Bloody hell. I was about to answer when the ship started to take off. We all tried to get a decent footing for the less than graceful takeoff. Everyone stood low so they could keep their balance better, all except poor Vivi. He was stuck on his stomach, digging his staff into the stage floor to stay in place. Rather than stand around doing nothing, I ran to his side, grabbed the back of his coat, and pulled him to his feet. Are you alright? Yeah, thanks, mister, he said as he looked right at me. Now let me tell you, black mages don't look nearly as weird as you might think. But with the hat and all, it looked more like his face was just covered in shadow. Please call me Trevor. Yeah. I introduced myself to someone. I'm Vivi. Nice to meet you, Vivi. I was becoming more convinced that this wasn't a trick. I was still a little skeptical, since everything could be explained on one level or another. If something else really bad happened, I might be fully convinced. As if on cue, Braun came out, brought out the harpoons, and had them firing at the ship. One of them nearly hit Garnet, but Zidane, being the hero he was, pulled her back in the nick of time. Steiner stood up over on stage right. Apparently, a kick to the chest wasn't enough. With all that armor, it shouldn't come as a surprise. Zidane, Marcus, and myself stood between Steiner and the princess. Vivi stood next to Garnet, gripping his staff tightly, although I couldn't tell if he was trying to protect her or get comfort from her. It didn't matter, because at that very moment, Braun launched a cannonball towards the ship. It stopped in midair and caught fire. I swear, the thing laughed before it flew behind Steiner and started growling. I didn't know how he couldn't know that it was there. Hey, look behind you, Zidane yelled. Steiner looked at us all with contempt. Will not fall for such an old trick. He stood in a Zorn hut stance, with the tip of his sword pointing up, the crossguard next to his ear. With a yell, he charged. Please, Steiner, look behind you, Garnet yelled from behind us. I don't think Steiner ever heard her. Surrender at once, he demanded. His sword came down and made contact with Marcus's sword. They both held each other in place while Zidane and I ran in to surround Steiner. Zidane ran around to Steiner's right side while I took the left. It's a bomb! Yelled Vivi. I turned and saw it. The bomb had grown to the size of a small car. It could explode at any second. It's gonna blow! Marcus warned. The bomb crossed its arms, and the flames on the top of its head flew into the sky. Get down! I yelled. Everyone backed away from the bomb and laid down on the floor. Steiner finally realized what was going on and fell backwards when he saw the bomb about to go off in his face. Have you ever been around something so loud you heard a high-pitched ring and started worrying if that meant you were going to go deaf? I mean, really worried? Yeah, that's what I felt. The smoke cleared and I could see Braun becoming smaller and smaller in the distance, which, in every conceivable way, is a good thing. I plunged my sword into the stage and rested against it. I still haven't gotten a chance to rest since I got here. If everything followed the game, then we would be crashing into Evil Forest in a few minutes. I should rest up. I went over everything in my mind. I can feel pain, so this isn't a dream. Someone could have been killed in that fight. It's too risky to set that up. So it might really be real. Maybe I really was trapped in the game. This was Shattered Mind Issues by Crimson Rogue on fanfiction.net. A Final Fantasy IX fanfiction. Guys, that was good. That was legitimately good. Shattered Mind. Oof. Like, that was, like really good. Stumbled a couple times. You know, I really can't say that was bad. It does write better than I wouldn't say that. How many sections? Oh my god, he's got 25 sections. Guys, I think we're going to read that again at some point. We're going to read that again. Okay. There we go. And we'll read more of yours as well, Gildy. Okay. Shattered Mind. Follow this story. Gosh. Oof. Oh, that was so good. So, I mean, I hope that you guys all enjoyed that, because I really did. Like, that, reading that was a lot of fun. Final Fantasy IX is one of the Final Fantasy games that I've played probably the least. So some of the names and some of the situations, I kind of don't want to go back and like play the game, even though I have it. I kind of want to just read that story and watch as it unfolds as this character Trevor is going through. Now, Gildy, do you know the writer personally or through a Discord? Because I also recorded that one as well. So that way I can like clean it up and send it over and be like, hey, what do you think? Because I think that was really fun. I know him via YouTube and a Twitter. Nice. That's awesome. I'm like really, really jazzed. Like, that was a super fun like thing to read, you know. Okay. Okay, I need to redeem this. I hope that we can do more, like, I really want to make this a Friday thing. I think it's very chill and laid back. It's not super high octane. So we won't be like just balls to the walls trying to run over everything. But that was really fun. There we go. Okay, I do have a shorter fanfic if you need a time filler. It is a critical role fanfic for their Battle Royale level 17 for next week, if you'd like, or this, or a couple weeks from now, whatever you like. You can send it over to me on Discord. If you have got other, if you've got more fanfics that you want me to read, if you're viewing us live, you can. We have a Discord, the Gaming and Chill Discord, and you can basically send me once you're on that. You can PM me. You can send me over your fanfics, and I'll read them over, and we'll get them read. If not today, we'll get them read some point. Like I said, I think I want to make this a thing. I'm really enjoying the interaction that I can have here, and the music, man. The music is just bowling. Like the music is like half of it. Like when I was reading parts of that, like part of it was like really fun to listen to while I was reading that because it changed. I liked it. We're actually going to go back to the ambient channel, see if it comes back. Is this the ambient channel? It is. I feel like it's not ambient enough. Me. So yeah. That was really enjoyable. We've got some more, we've got some magicians, fanfics here. We've got some that are more mature, some that are not. You never know. Oh. That's the one Gildy sent. Got it. I seen it. Okay. It's not too long. And this is okay. This is a okay, this is Critical Role. Duh. I shall read it. I'm gonna read a it's pretty comic. Okay. Then if I read it and I get it recorded and get it turned into like a video, we need to tweet that at Matt Mercer and everything and see if we can get them to voice it then. That's what we need to do. / action. Well, I mean, that's Critical Role. Comedy / action. What's up, soccer? How are you doing? You just missed a fantastic event, a fantastic reading. It was really, really good. Soon to go in dinner. Oh, cool. What'd you have? I had nice pita chip nachos. I just hope my writing fits it. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. It's now the 8 o'clock hour. I'd like you gotta tell me if I get the voices down. I can't do the voices at all. I at all. Popcorn chicken? Ooh. Well, that sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. Okay. That sounds really good. I had like pita. Like I said, I had pita chip nachos with gyro meat on it. Not pita. Yeah, there you go. Throw through the writing if I get them right, how they can speak and all. Oh, okay. Did you have any good dipping sauces with that chicken? Ranch dressing being the good dressing. If you say honey mustard, get the fuck up on out of here. No, I don't. I kid. Honey mustard's alright. Pita chip nachos with gyro meat is really good. It's one of my foods that I'll just kill for. Always drink your water. No matter how much everything else you drink your water. I can drink like 120 fluid ounces of water a day. Granted, I'm peeing all the time. But, you know, what can you say? What can you say? Okay. I'm super excited for that. If this goes well, I want to write fanfics that go with the timeline of the first campaign. Do it! Do it! And I'll read them. I will read them. Like, I'm super jazzed about this. Like, I don't know that I emote it well, but like, I am really excited to be reading this sort of thing. I love reading creations. I love reading the Battle Royale. Okay. I'm gonna read a couple. Ooh, what kind of pizza did you have? I'm gonna read a couple Magicians ones. They're a little bit on the shorter end, but then we'll also read yeah, exactly what King said. Go for your dreams. Make it happen. Just do it. I don't know. I had nothing there. It was not relaxing nor ASMR. Yeah, I'm gonna read a couple other fictions. Keep getting messages. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna read a couple of Magicians fanfictions, then we'll go to Critical Role. It's not too long. Chapter 1. Okay. This next one is gonna be a little bit more... Oops, wrong thing. Unpin that shit from my... There you go. They're a little bit more mature. Just be prepared for the maturity. You know how you gotta... There we go. Let's get this. Yeah, they're a little on the more mature side. This is literally rated mature. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Covers King's ears. No looking. No listening. Okay. Bite my tongue. Bide my time. A Magician's fanfic. Written by First Otterina. The thing was, Elliot had called dibs. And dibs were sacred. Many a first year had punished under the combined attentions of Margot and Elliot. They cracked, they melted, they gave themselves up to the most delicious torture of being loved and left in the same weekend. Sometimes the same hour. But occasionally, Margot would see the brightness at the back of Elliot's eyes that meant he had decided to be especially fond of one. So she steered clear. Personally, she didn't get attached. Elliot got that look on his face for Quentin Coldwater, the most perpetually lost of puppies. Quentin, who once fumbled all of his books out of his hand while he was standing completely still, who fell asleep sitting straight up in a chair most nights like a full-on dweeb, who might as well have curled up at the foot of Alice's bed and prayed to get so much as a stray kick. Elliot picked him out, and Margot wished him luck on the journey. Though unspoken, the dibs were clear and present, and she knew, one day, the combination of champagne and heron eyes would be fatal. They would bone down with enthusiasm, and Margot would wipe a single tear from her eye with pride. But she was only one woman. In the morning, she sat on the kitchen counter in a lace teddy, watching Quentin get so flustered by the mere suggestion of her nipples that he spilled coffee grounds everywhere, trying to get them into the filter. But then he kind of laughed, more at himself than anything else, and that made Margot smile. Is it because it's cold in here? Would you be less stressed out if they weren't looking back at you? Quentin glanced at her, then down, then back up again. Maybe? You're an incorrigible flirt, she declared, delighted before twisting and flicking her fingers in such a way that all the grinds jumped up into a dark cloud and doused him. Something about him really made Margot want to pull his pigtails, then pat him on the head. Not really. Unamused, he dusted himself off, admitting, "But if there's another way to talk to you, then I don't know what it is." That was it. That right there. Scowling, but soft-eyed, coffee in his hair, dark circles making it clear he'd spent another night sitting up with a book in his lap. It made it difficult to respect the sanctity of dibs. So Margot went fishing. She hooked a leg around his hips to reel him in, one marabou-topped mule clattering to the ground. Quentin's eyes got big, and his hands sort of hovered in no man's land, palms up. Margot's own were firmly planted on the counter, keeping him in place with locked ankles and very toned calves. "Thank you." "Baby Q," she cooed. "Don't tell Elliot. He'd totally be jealous." Then she tightened her legs so he slid a few inches closer and kissed him. Was no hands and all hair for a second, her big waves swinging into the way when she leaned in, his sad boy side bangs always covering one eye. But then, laughing, Margot pulled him back to shake strands out of her face and cupped his cheeks, held him firmly in his hands, and kissed him again. He was warm under her hands, but not flushed, unshaven, clearly unmoisturized. God, that shouldn't have been a turn-on. This was why she should never get up before noon. Her touch seemed to unspool something in Quentin, because his lips suddenly parted against hers, his head tilted for a deeper kiss. He gripped her hips, and then her ass, hauling her closer so she was perched right at the very edge of the counter, counting on him not to let her drop. Surprise was a tiny, trapped moan in her throat, her body unexpectedly crushed against his, her fingers sliding into his hair and holding on tight. Elliot always had been annoyingly good at making predictions about people, but still, little Quentin Coldwater? Who knew? Finally, Margot shoved him back, more breathless than she planned on being. Her remaining mule was pressed resolutely to the center of his chest, the length of her leg between them. She kept herself from falling, but barely. "Well," Quentin said, "good morning to you too." Margot snorted, then had a laugh. But the sound of it wasn't quite right. Even though she went through the motions of tossing her head back in a charming and succulent way, she hopped down and righted the teddy that Quentin had managed to ruck up. "Eat your heart out, nerd," she said, tousling his already wrecked hair as she sashayed past him. Really, she should be praised for her restraint. She could have done a lot worse than that, and the thought made her instantly imagine all the worse she could have done, all the ways she could have left Quentin in a sad little puddle on the kitchen floor to be mopped up with magic. It was a nice start to the day. Once she'd returned to bed and retrieved the enchanted vibrator, which she and Elliot had bonded over the creation of in their first year, They still had to trademark that shit. Under the cloud-like comfort of her duvet, she thought of how Quentin had grabbed her ass and what other surprises he had up his sleeve, if he could have pulled himself together enough to whip up a little worse himself. Though, let's be real, he'd probably just come too fast and spend the rest of the year apologizing, unable to look her in the eye ever again. And that was where it ended, because personally, she didn't get attached. What? That was not bad. Not bad at all. Very risque. Very risque. But it wasn't too bad, all things considered. Bite my tongue and bide my time. I like the title. If you're not a Magicians fan, that probably made no sense to you. Doing. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. It was really good. Thank you. There we go. I like the fact that Magicians has the ability to have almost anything written about it, because there are, canonically, it was 69 wings, exactly. There are, canonically, like, 28 timelines that we really don't get to examine. So, you know, maybe that could have been one. 69 wings. Is anybody else excited for the new season? I know I'm like super pumped. Oh, and that's all good, Kazakar. We've all accidentally closed out of a tab and went, shit. It's happened. It's happened before. I wouldn't say that it's new. And episode number 2, what's going on? Love it. It's so good. I love the show. Okay. Checking messages real fast. Hey, Robot Hound. This is what on the album. This song is on the album Covered in Cats. That's a great album title. Gotta be honest. If you're to be covered in cats, it's a great way to do things. So, guys, I think Fanfic Fridays are gonna be a thing. I think that they are going to be a normal, regular thing. So if you like that sort of thing, don't forget to follow. That way you get notifications when I go live. And if you really like it, or if you really like it, you can subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription every month, so you can use that. I would appreciate it very much. Helps encourage things like this. This is IRL is kind of new to me. I've seen a lot of people do it. I've not really had experience with it. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze now. Hang on. Okay. So yeah, I've not we can call them fuck yeah, fun Fanfic Fridays. Hey, whatever works. Whatever gets you all excited. I'm excited to do these. And if you have ones to submit, you can. I want that to be open to you all. I want that to be... I want Fanfic Fridays to be... I want you to participate. I want participation. If you have a fanfic that you're a fan of, do it. You know, we can read them. If your friend wrote a fanfic, I'd love to read it. Hey, Gildy. Also, Zach, if you're still here, love to see Doug read one also. He'd probably blush the whole time. I don't know that he wouldn't stream it, and he's actually at work on Friday nights. Hey Gildy, do you remember us talking about Gurren Jesus? At all? Or what Gurren Jesus is? I'm still here. Okay, so do you know Gurren Lagann? Gurren Lagann? So like Kenny Loggins? So there is a fanfic called Gurren Jesus, which I'm thinking about reading just for the shits and giggles, because it's awesome. Okay. Gurren Jesus. Hey, so you all heard it, read it? Sorry, I forgot what I asked to get a yup to it. Great idea. Hey, you know, I think it's a good one. Okay, I'm just gonna read this one real fast to have fun, because Gurren Jesus is like 695 words. I'm not gonna record it. It's just a really fun one to do. It's it's the one to have fun and just be silly with it, because it's Gurren Jesus. All these fanfics should be logged, so if anybody wants to, they can go back and read it themselves or listen to it again. I will actually be uploading the audio recordings to YouTube eventually. I'll put some nice artwork with it, and then be sure to give credit to who actually wrote it, as well as a link to go read it themselves. But I actually have it recorded separately, so there's no background audio, and I'll put background audio onto it. But that way it's a little bit cleaned up. So that way if I have a sniffle or anything like that, I can fix it in post and then send it to them. Be like, hey, someone noticed you, senpai. You know, because Twitch won't log them all the time. Juice it up a little bit. Exactly. Put a little bit of background music. Maybe for the Final Fantasy one, put some Final Fantasy music on it. Yeah, it's one of those like, hey, let's have some fun. You know, I want this to be by and for you all. You know, and if you've written anything, send it to me. If you haven't, and you have a friend who has, send it to me. Then tell them, hey, your shit's gonna get read by someone that's not just me. You know, because I've had, you know, we've all had that experience as creators where we'll create something and then one person will read it and you're like, cool. But someone else, like, if someone else sees it and acknowledges, then it's like, oh my gosh, someone else sees it. Someone random from the internet found it. So, okay. Hang on. Mic was off. Thank you, Zach. I thought I had turned it back on. But I was saying is like, yes, I'm all for the anime fan smut in Japanese. That would be kind of funny. Wait, you can hear me now, can't you? Turn it back on. It's saying it's back on. Is my mic not working? Oh no. Okay. Outstanding. Okay. Let's read some fan smut. I am all for it. As long as I don't get banned on Twitch. Okay, we'll read Gurren Jesus, then we'll get into Critical Role. Stream delay and all. Oh, yeah. Guilty says, I always pictured Black Willow, but it looks like a waffle ball made from lightning in her hand, and grinning in a sinister way at the viewer. Her eyes glowing a deep, dark purple. Need to figure out how to animate. Have you met my friend Zach? No. I know Zach does a lot of art, so he's the artsy one. I got nothing. I just got a voice apparently. Okay, Gurren Jesus. I've said it like 5 times. Let's do it. We got this. Gurren Jesus. Jesus and Kamina team up to win World War II. A Bible Gurren Lagann crossover written by Jason Bob Dude. One day in Gurren Lagann, Kamina died and everyone was sad, but there was a bright flash of light and Jesus appeared. Hey Kamina, it's Jesus. What's up? Said Jesus. Thanks to Jesus, I've returned to life, said Kamina. You're too cool to die, said Jesus, who bumped fists with Kamina. Simon, Yoko, and all other people in Team Dai Gurren waved goodbye to Jesus and Kamina as they got onto their motorcycles with hot rod flames painted on the side and did a backflip off a ramp as the song Highway Star by Deep Purple was played by the Angels, who had electric guitars shaped like skulls. So what do we do now, JC? Asked Kamina. We're going to kill the Nazis, said Jesus. Something in the background exploded, and they drove their motorcycles away from it and did a high five while driving at about a gazillion miles per hour. Jesus is a very good motorcycle driver because it's one of his god powers. Same with Kamina. All the Nazis were doing very evil things in a room. We're all evil Nazis, said one of them. So that was when Jesus drove his motorcycle through the window and landed on top of the Nazi. At last I'm slain, said the Nazi. Jesus kicked him in the face. Oh no, said the Nazis. The Nazis said in unison, It's Jesus! Then Kamina broke the other wall of the room on his motorcycle. Just who the hell do you think I am? He yelled as he scalped the Nazi with a Bowie knife. The Nazis didn't know who Kamina was because they were from the 1940s and awesome hadn't been invented yet. Then the Nazis were mad at Jesus, so they shot him a bunch of times. But then Jesus absorbed all the bullets into his body and shot them out of his eyeballs back at the Nazis, so they died. I'm Jesus, so I still love you even though you're Nazis and I'm killing you, said Jesus. He's a pretty cool guy. Kamina did not have to forgive the sins of anybody, so he could just cut a bunch of Nazis in half with his katana and then did a backflip into his giant robot. Jesus rode on top of the robot like it was a surfboard. Let's go find Hitler, said Kamina. There was a Nazi trying to run away, so Kamina killed him by looking at him. Kamina and Jesus rode the giant robot all the way across Germany. Each time the robot took a step, its foot landed on a Nazi, and the Nazi's intestines splattered all over the ground. Jesus said, Since I have Jesus' powers, I can tell that Hitler is somewhere nearby, so they decided to look for Hitler. They found Chester Cheetah instead, who told them, I am Chester Cheetah, and not Hitler. So Jesus and Kamina could not kill him, because he is a God-fearing Christian who brings joy to people. Then Chester Cheetah took off his mask, and it was actually Hitler! I tricked you, Jesus, said Hitler. Kamina said, It's not good to trick Jesus. Evil Hitler! And then he kicked Hitler in the face. At the same time, Jesus kicked Hitler in the face from the other direction. It was in slow motion, and it looked really cool. Hitler, I'm gonna kick your ass in the name of Father, myself, and the Holy Ghost, said Jesus. Me too, said Kamina. So then Jesus and Kamina charged up all the spiritual energy in the entire universe through the power of prayer and shot a gigantic laser beam at Hitler so that he dies slowly. Thank you, Kamina, said Jesus. If you were any more awesome, you would be Jesus too. Then Kamina and Jesus high-fived each other since all the Nazis were dead. The end. This was a Bible Gurren Lagann crossover entitled Gurren Jesus by Jason Bob Dude. Guys, Gurren Jesus. Gurren Jesus. You know, it's been a very long time since I read that. Because I'm Jesus. You shouldn't trick Jesus, because that's not cool. Oh my god. Because awesome hadn't been invented. Oh man. Because it was the 1940s. I'm going to be thinking about that one for a while. That's not a good thing. God. If you were any more awesome, you'd be Jesus too. That might actually be the funniest thing I've read in a while. Apparently the white God's son invented awesome. Well, apparently awesome was invented after the 1940s, so I mean, who did? I'm Chester Cheetah, I'm not Hitler. Chester Cheetah! Why? Why Chester Cheetah? What's up, Sam? We are reading fanfics. Not all of them are PG-13. Some of them are R. We've only read one that was R. It ain't easy being cheesy. We just finished up Gurren Jesus, which might be the funniest fanfiction I've read in a while. You know, ever. Because not only did Kamina from Gurren Lagann meet Jesus, but they also met Chester Cheetah. Wait, just kidding. It was Hitler all along. Yeah, that's going up on Discord later. Oh my god, it was... I am pleased with how that turned out. Very pleased. It ain't easy being Jesus. So, I'll post it up on Discord later. I recorded the audio separately, so I'll put some music and video to it. But, Kamina and Gurren Lagann died, and then met Jesus, and they rode off on hot rods, and then they went and killed Nazis, but they didn't know who Kamina was because awesome hadn't been invented in the 1940s. And then they slow motion kicked Hitler, who was dressed up as Chester Cheetah, apparently. Turns out, who knew? Chester Cheetah, Hitler, all along. It was one of the funniest things I've read in a while. You know, it was like, oh, okay, cool. So what have you been up to, Sam? I haven't seen you in a while. I knew I didn't trust that cheetah for a reason. Exactly. It ain't. He said it ain't easy being cheesy. I kind of figure his moral, ethical codes were kind of compromised. Just saying. We're actually getting ready to do in a little bit. Going to be reading Gildy's fanfic for not Battle Royale, Critical Role. The Matt Mercer thing. Got power back. I've been sitting in the dark for 24 hours. Damn. That is too long. If I didn't have power for 24 hours, well, I might be encouraged to go to the gym more than I already do. And yes, I say that, and I have been to the gym. Whenever I don't work at home, I actually go to the gym. So this week I was at the gym twice. Worked Wednesday, Thursday. Last week I went every day except Thursday. Okay. Let's do another one. what do you even do in the dark? Like, at a certain point, especially with how late it is, how early it gets dark so soon, sitting in the dark with the smell of farts and desire to go to Thai Park. Nice. Go to Thai Park. Maybe. I feel like I would just end up going to the mall or something. No, I wouldn't go to the mall. The mall is terrible to go. It'd be like work, like the gym. I get Wi-Fi there at least. The park. Oh. Haha. Now I'm just imagining a Thai park where they've got like ties hung up on trees. Autocorrect. Damn you, autocorrect! Okay. Thai swings and Thai slides. That'd actually be pretty fun, I gotta be honest. You must be in a suit and tie to come in. Just a bunch of businessmen going, hey, no pushing! Tighter totters. Okay. Let's read some Critical Role. Okay. Take some liberty as the script. Okay. Not really guilty with the power went off as I was drilling a hole in the wall. Oof. What are you drilling a hole in the wall for? I asked that getting ready to read, which I just let you know. When I'm reading, I typically don't answer. I don't look at I look at chat. I can see your messages, but I don't respond because I'm reading it and actually recording it separately. And glory hole. No, probably not. But recording that separately. Ooh, repairing drywall. Gross. Hang on. Gonna sneeze again. The mic is on. Okay. Toss some water out. Won't be dry anymore. Okay. Let's get this read. A Critical Role Battle Royale, Level 17, by Fantasy Ficker, a Dungeons and Dragons fanfic. Chapter 1, Vox Machina. They'd all fallen asleep. They were all floating within an impenetrable darkness, without knowing how, why not wearing anything really. They'd awoken as one. All they seemed to see was just fog. Fog everywhere. All the group gazing around somewhat blearily. They seemed to be scattered around a strange landscape. No, as they watched, more of the fog begins to dissipate. A battleground. But why? What were they to fight? Sure is a lot of fog going around here, Grog muttered to himself, farting. He giggled. Ha! Fog farts. Towers seemed to be looming, and now out of the fog. Out of nothing, out of nowhere at all, a vast blast of lightning erupted out of the brazier on each of the 80-foot towers. Vox Machina engaged puzzled looks. No more than Terry, a companion of the group, and Trinket, Vex's armored bearer companion. As Trinket had no idea where he is or how he got there, all Trinket wants to do is take a nap. Terry is puzzling over a stronger power he feels from within himself. As Terry gazes at his hand, a figure strode forth abruptly. The figure's robes flapped and snapped via a rather large gust of wind that suddenly blew up around the figure. The entity floated above the center of the battlefield, calmly. After doffing his deep cowl via a small gust of strong wind, The figure turned out to be a rather handsome man, with earthen-length brown hair and a glowing, magnificent beard. He smiled like Father Christmas and stated bombastically, "Tonight you fight for me and my pleasure, for I am the forgotten deity known as Colville, and you will dance before me, and between you all, one victor shall stand and gain my blessing." He raised his hand, and from it blazed a fine, purple line of energy. That energy created a force field around the battlefield. Vox Machina gazed around a bit hesitantly. The force field created more or less a giant 50-foot high dome around the towers, placed hither and thither throughout the battleground. "I hope you all learned something," Calville smiled. "Now, you have 6 seconds to decide where to go and what to prepare for. No fighting is to commence until the 6 seconds are up, and then show me what you've got." Vox Machina laughed uncertainly, not knowing if this was a joke or not. Started prepping regardless. After determining they were all on separate towers, Vox Machina took stock of said towers. There seemed to be 2 doors, one on each side of the towers, and a ladder on the other side of the door. Door, ladder, door, ladder. They prepared all they could think to prepare. Potions, spells. Tyrion vanished into a protective sphere of invulnerability. Percy activated his boots of spider walking, and he also charged diplomacy. Percy paused for a moment, gazing around, looking for another action of prepping he might take. What to do, he pondered. Then he had it. The tower hummed nominally as he took a step back, slightly behind a wall, on the edge of the tower. Vex, who had popped Trinket out of her necklace, cast without a trace on her, and Trinket in the bear. She sent Trinket down through a trapdoor then, hid behind one of the braziers. Nobody would know where she nor her bear Trinket were positioned. Trinket was stationed halfway down the tower. Inside, Grog hated people, popping him into different places, especially people who lived on the clouds. Stupid cloud people, telling Grog the Mighty, what to do. He took his blood axe out, switched for Dwarven Thrower, grunted like a rabid orgasmic gorilla with a severe yeast infection with hemorrhoids and having a grand mal seizure. Grog climbed up the rope ladder beside him, just cresting the top of the towers. Tyrion began to scream as Grog, still grunting in the aforementioned manner, grinned at him, whilst pulling himself to his feet, holding Dwarven Thrower in his large fist. Over yonder, Dottie plaintively squeaked, "Terry?" The only person Grog sees through, at first, is Dottie. Grog was seeing one other thing through, though. The rage. "He sleeps in war paint! Why would he sleep in war paint?" Tyrion screams in frightful panic. Grog just smiled wider. Hearing Tyrion's voice made him hungry for the coming hunt. There he stood erect and ready to kill something. Grog blows a snot rocket, loudly as he stood there. It just missed his massive grog bit, just still standing at attention, and skidded to a stop just before hitting the feet of Tyrion. Just before the ball, Tyrion was green. Keyleth ran up to a nearby pool of water and dipped her foot. Noticing the pain at once, she instead tested the depth of her staff, pulled out after not finding the bottom of said pool, cast freedom of movement on herself, and attempted to hide, as there were no objects behind which to hide at her current position. She just stayed where she was, and hoped she was not spotted. She was nervous. Tyrion has cast sanctuary upon Dottie, tells Dottie to keep away from all the bad people like he did when they were children. Like when we played keep away. "Terry," Dottie responded. Tyrion nods. Tyrion's thrown down the bead of force upon himself, creating the orb of energy around himself which only passable air can pass through. Finally, bang! An explosion erupted from the braziers, fused onto the towers. Grog peed on Tyrion's ball. Grog then got a blast of lightning full in the face, ruining his grand display of dominance. This all happened as Dottie is holding the ball on the ground. Tyrion has landed upon the ground as he fell out of the sky. Grog has great aim with pee, unfortunately, as does the tower have great aim with its lightning. Dottie looked in at Tyrion and said, "Terry, Tyrion just pulls a bunch of faces at Grog, was still crisping up pretty well. Tyrion laughs. Cavill bellows from the heavens. All right, my champions, let the fight begin. He slams his hand together, then just vanished in a great thunderclap. It had begun. This was a Critical Role Battle Royale, level 17 fanfiction, written by Fantasy Ficker. I feel like I stumbled a lot more through that one. I feel like I bungled it. The story continues. Yeah, it's just I just read chapter 1. But I noticed like each chapter is like one of them is like a sentence. Like there's like 59 chapters. Yeah, I feel like I bungled that one though, I gotta be honest. Each chapter is a person. Oh, okay. Like that's a lot. I feel like I stumbled through it. I'm probably gonna have to reread that one later. A little bit crisper. Because I feel like I failed my way upwards in that one. Nah, it's okay. Okay. I don't know why I opened that. I wasn't ready to drink it. You really have a good voice for reading? Thank you. I appreciate that. And podcast and narrating. I've been podcasting for 2.5 years. I really wish I could do more narrating stuff. I just don't know how to start, but this is my way. I can't wait if you'd like to read the whole thing. Eventually, chapters are small as the books go by. Okay. I might record that one a little bit differently, since it is a little bit longer. Like, granted, it's probably not as long as some of the other ones. Really, I mean, I'll be listening to it. Great. Thank you. I mean, really, the best... The way to get into it, really, is just to... Did I get the voices go well? I think I might have bungled some of that up. So that way I was like... It felt like I was tripping over words, and I think that was me. But I can see the characters kind of doing some of that stuff. I need to watch more Critical Role. So I don't think I have the pronunciations either. But really, like, the best thing that I can do is just to keep doing this sort of thing and sharing it out there and being like, hey, come watch it. Like, come. I would love to actually read an audiobook for Amazon. Because that would actually be a dream. Like, to get to read an Amazon book. Like, need to contact one of my author friends and be like, hey, so how do you feel about this? Grog is the orgasmic girl that just popped in my head. I just wrote that down and read it later and laughed so hard. Yeah, I think it's good. I think as far as like fanfic, if you're wanting that for scripting, I don't know how well that works that might be more of a descriptor that's not read, but as a way of like if you're wanting it read like first person, like as like almost a script, that would be almost like a descriptor, like they said angrily, but you wouldn't write down, I'm saying this angrily or like this. It depending upon how you want it read. If you want it read, great. If you want it voiced, you might have to do it a little differently. Because that was one of the lines I felt like I was tripping over, because it was like this and this and this. I was like, okay, this is the end of the description. Oh, wait, nope, it's not. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's not bad. It's just I wasn't expecting it. For radio broadcast, basically, it would be almost differently. It's a third person, only the story what I only the way this story what I thought. It could work. I think it could work. I'm not a writer though, so I really don't know. I really wish there was a way to a different way to share this Friday stream to get more writers involved, because that would actually be something really kind of cool to get writers and artists connected so that they can get and meet other creatives sort of way. Yeah. I like the narration. You did the confusion down very well. Okay, good. And I thought I did the deity's voice as well, really well. I thought so. At least I hoped so. At least I hoped so. Ugh. Good. I'd add like an effect, like a booming effect or something. But actually, with getting access to a professional studio, I might be able to record some of these actually as on a professional studio quality. So there's not any background noises or anything like that. That may be something I do. And just to say, I do plan on, like, if through submissions, if you are a sub, your submissions get higher priority. As kind of like a, hey, thanks for subscribing. You get a higher priority to get your stuff read immediately, more immediately. Just get this recorded and sent to Matt Mercer. That would be a thing to do. I would need to get I'd need to get it all ironed out and like not trip over my own words. And hopefully that'll end when I'm done not being so congested. But yeah, I'd like to get all this recorded and actually done. Like, I think that would be actually quite awesome. I suck at narrating. Well, I mean, just throw me your narrating stuff. I feel like I've almost thought about doing stuff on Fiverr as well. You know? Get stuff recorded up. Because I think that could be fun. Oh. Okay. I got a couple more. I did play a dragon on a radio drama. Oh, that's right. You were telling me about that. Fiverr, yeah. Let's read some more. Grimlock. That's an awesome name. That's an amazing name. And you should also know that I have actually signed up for fanfic.com, fanfic.net. Grimlock the Fire Dragon. Nice. There we go. Okay. Do you want, okay, so do you want to do, I'll leave this one up to you guys. Do you want to do a Magicians or do you want me to do a Yuri on Ice? Yuri on Ice is a little bit longer. But I'll show his voice once we get into a voice chat again. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, what all do you think I should do? Yuri on Ice or a Magicians? I'm open to the suggestion. Or if you have one of your own. Yurio. Okay. I got one Yurio. I knew what you meant. Need to take a cold shower out of the Magician's one. I think we all do. Okay. Okay. Let's do some. I have a shorter fanfic, much shorter. Okay. Send it to me while I read the You're on Ice one. The following is Burning Up by Val Creative, a Yuri on Ice fanfic. Being in the novice class wouldn't be so horrible if Odebek didn't doubt himself constantly. Everyone else would succeed in Yakov Feltzman's training camp with their practice routines and understood basic performance techniques and stances. So, why couldn't he? He passes a group of older male ballet students in leotards and toe shoes. They don't notice him, passing around an unmarked vodka bottle, taking hefty, burping swigs, laughing. One of the teenage boys smacks the heel of his palm against a box of cigarettes, and his friend plays around with a silvered Bic lighter, flipping it open and shut, burning whole pieces of paper malevolently. Odebek knows to avoid eye contact. They're speaking in a gruffer, more severe form of Russian, and he's a 13-year-old with no muscle mass to be defending himself from a confrontation. Down the corridor, there's 1 or 2 recital rooms, and then the washroom, mostly unused spaces. Odebek peeks into a large, vacant room with a polished wood floor and a harp, glimpsing the shine of yellow, blonde hair twirling. Not vacant, a pensive-faced Yuri Plasetsky stretches himself gracefully. A younger boy who Odebek instantly felt a connection to, for no discernible reason. Yuri is famously apt for ballet and for ice skating, and so all the adults have whispered within hearing range. Yuri would grow up to be conventionally attractive, and a star athlete with unrelenting passion and dedication, and a hard-hearted perspective of winning. No acceptance of failure would be tolerated. The very moment that Odebek looked into Yuri's eyes during that ballet lesson, Odebek believed every word they said about Yuri, and he wanted it for himself too, to be the best. Before he spotted his newest rival, his idol, Odebek races to the washroom, remembering how badly he needed to empty his uncomfortably full bladder. He doesn't rush cleaning his hands, going over what to prepare for his next studies and when to call his mama in Kazakhstan, air drying off. Exiting the washroom, Odebek smells something awful, and that burning that wafts in his face. Back from the way he came, there's so much dark, billowing smoke that Odebek can't make it out of the staircases. An echo of laughter gaining distance, stomping feet, and more smoke. Did the older boys set fire to this place? Odebek wheezes out, his lungs tightening, panic and fear climbing up from his belly. Yuri hurries out of the room where he'd been practicing in, staring at the black smoke-permeated hallway, and then Odebek with mounting confusion and horror. "In here! Go!" Odebek yells, reaching out and pushing Yuri back into the recital room with both his hands, slamming the door behind them and locking it. Yuri pushes him back in retaliation, glaring. "What the hell was that?" Overhead, the fire alarms suddenly go off, white strobing lights blinking from the ceiling. "Crap," Odebek mutters, looking up, then waving his arms defensively, attempting to block a still glaring Yuri from heading from the only doorway. "Where are you going? No, it's not safe." "We're gonna get trapped, you dumbass," Yuri barks out. They argue with each other for another few minutes before the 11-year-old curses in Russian and snatches onto the door handle. He immediately lets go, crying out in agony and grasping onto his own wrist. Odebek yells again, this time Yuri's name, wrapping his fingers over Yuri's hand on his wrist and leading him away roughly. Yuri's palms and the insides of his fingers turn to a deep pink from the first-degree burns. cries out more softly, angrily, but he doesn't jerk away from Odebek's purposeful, examining touch. Underneath the reddish-tinged crack of the door, more of that bellowing smoke creeps in. Soot black. I think we already are. Odebek replies to Yuri's earlier comment heedlessly, looking up again towards the ceiling, and then to the opposite side of the room. Is there another door? A vent? This is your fault. He doesn't blame Yuri for getting scared like this, when it seems like there's nowhere they can go, and decides to ignore the accusation in Yuri's voice. The other boy scowls at Odebek, breathing erratically, his little green eyes welling quickly with tears and bloodshot. Odebek's heart clenches. Hey, it's gonna be okay, Yuri, he insists, touching over Yuri's shoulders and gripping lightly. Odebek meets his gaze, nodding firmly. We're going to get out of here. I promise. I promise. Maybe it's the resolve Odebek has, but Yuri finally calms, gulping for air and more confused. How do you know my name? Odebek's mouth flattens into a hard line. He tries to think of what to say when they both hear noises outside the recital room, like heavier footsteps and men shouting orders. The door splinters open with the help of a fire axe, and Odebek ducks protectively, covering Yuri's head. He doesn't remember much else, separating from Yuri as the firefighters, picking them up, carrying them out of the building, and putting them into separate ambulances. Odebek doesn't remember gasping into an oxygen mask, puking out bile and all of the toxic sludge from his body, and then leaving Russia, leaving without seeing how Yuri was doing. He was ever really okay after the incident. But the world moved on, and he and Yuri thrived with their skating careers, just not together. Yuri's hair shines yellow blonde again, against the sunshine pouring in, where he sits casually on the edge of Odebek's hotel mattress, rubbing his neck littered with bruised, purpling hickeys. After a long moment, Yuri gazes over his shoulder at Odebek, watching him softly, the corner of his mouth quirking down. What? The Russian symbols drift in, low and familiar. Odebek props his head up on a white, too-thin pillow. Nothing. Just thinking about you, he answers back in English, grinning when a bare-chested Yuri tenses up, wide-eyed and flushing. Dumbass, Yuri mutters, still in Russian. Distracting himself by gathering up his hair into a ponytail, he succumbs to Odebek's embrace from behind him, muttering wordlessly as Odebek's mouth traces over his nape and the slope of his back, leaving faint, suckling, admiring kisses. Doubt can't exist like this. Not with Yuri here. This was Burning Up, a Yuri on Ice fanfiction written by Val Creative. Phew! Okay, let's get back. Okay, it might read as nonsense, but it's a Star Wars fanfic. Not much happens in Chapter 1, but it's still amusing. I wrote it in conjunction with a Google Sings version of Plagues from Prince of Persia, or Prince of Egypt. It was just a lark. Silly. Toast Brodel, whoa, you are the real Polaris. The real Polaris. I know that's a reference to something. I don't know what. Can you fill me in there? I'd like to get in on this joke. That was not bad. Had almost nothing to do with Yuri on Ice, but it's fine. I like that take. I probably didn't pronounce that correctly at all. I'm gonna read chapter 1. Okay. That was good though. Oof. Ouch. Pop my bag. How are you all doing? I'm hoping you're all enjoying this still. And if you're still here, Toast Brodel, thank you for joining in. Sorry I wasn't able to answer immediately. When I am reading fanfics, I don't tend to stop and look at chat for too long. Mostly because I'm actually reading all of this. for here. I'm so enjoying it. Well, thanks there, King of Soccer. This is something new. I actually just started this week. And I said it's something I've never done before. I've had face cam before, but I've not actually like done IRL streaming before. It's something I enjoy. I'm starting to enjoy it, actually. Getting to read more is really cool. It's amazing. Well, I hope that the voice is able to help you relax. It's almost that nice tone. Okay. Derek went home, took off his pants, clapped his hands, and settled in for a long night of eating crackers, killing plebs on the internet. Not at all. My fanfic for you. I'm actually reading. I'm looking at it right now. But no, like I enjoy doing this sort of thing. I wish that more people would be able to see it or hear it. I've had this. You're not. I've had someone else go, "Hey, you've got a really good a voice," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Really hadn't thought about it. But yeah. Okay. When was this written? Published December 24th. Was that this year? Was that this year, Guilty? Derek went home, took off his pants. Voice is silky smooth like Darth Vader's. I don't know how I feel about that. Derek went home, took off his pants, clapped his hands, and settled in for a long night of eating crackers and killing plebs on the internet. It's like almost like a different, a different voice almost. It's like almost like downshifting it. Like this is reading it, but then when I'm reading it's very aboard the Sith Star warship Starburst. But then it's up here, it's all nice. It's a higher register. You know, it's just a completely different like voice usage. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Ooh, I know the song. Anyway. It's Epona song. Okay. Okay. Maybe my style isn't all that great. I don't know. Your style's great. Your writing is good. I think it's just me still getting used to it. You have a different writing style, and that's fine. Your writing style is yours, and it's good. It's different. It's not one specific way or the same as everyone else's. It's your writing style, and I have to get used to that. Like, so others write in a very conventional way. You write differently, which your brain is not going, okay, this is how it's going to be read, because everything else I've read is like that. You write differently, which I love. And I'm sure it changes as time goes on, and depending on what you're listening to or anything. So, okay, I'm going to read chapter 1 of this one, of the Star Wars one. Yes, I'm dying back here. Hang on one second. I didn't mute it, I don't think. That's okay. But yeah, let's get that read out. Okay. Okay. Let me get another drink real fast. Got some nice diet peach tea. I wrote this in 1 hour. Okay. Alright, let's do this one. Is it just the Lord Sith SO? Or what is the actual title of it? Star Wars Lord Sith SO. What does SO stand for? Before I start recording. Oh, SO, okay. Got it. Just making sure. The word so. Okay. Let's do this. Star Wars, Lord Sith So. A Star Wars fanfic written by Fantasy Ficker. Chapter 1 and Pun. Aboard the Sith Star warship Starburst, Cerberats were running rampant. The only way to kill them was to kill them with silverware, specifically spoons. Nobody knew why. It just Sith Lord So stood in her black, billowing robes. How robes billowed when one was standing still was a mystery to most of the crew, other than those who had already died because they knew too much. Had to happen that way. The evil Sith sorceress had a condition known throughout the galaxy as lactose intolerance. But she loved her bantha blue milk and ice cream that looked like frozen smooth Smurf turds so much that she made milkshakes out of them. She was addicted to the things, and anybody who brought up that... Yeah, let's go back. She was addicted to the things, and anybody who brought up the subject of her gas issues was cut down instantly. No one could know. In point of fact, the Jedi called her Puke Shit Talker. Couldn't beat her, due to her famed wind attacks. She always had to stay aboard her ship, in space, because if one farted out in the vacuum of space, well, no one would care. Start killing things surface-side and everybody made a giant tattoo about it. People would start to bitch about everything, which was alive, now dying. It was insane. She couldn't help the blue shakes. Delicious. Servant! Yes, your grace? Skinny man in a close-fitting black robes jabbered nervously. Get me a blue shake again. Now! She commanded. Oh, and how's the rat issue? I'm sorry, your grace, but, don't have any. I don't let my people. What? What? You mean we don't have any rats? Why so scared then? So not turn to face the man. Now get me another blue bantha shake. Now, boy. The man licked his lips as he sputtered. We have rats. Nothing running out of those anytime soon. I mean, well, we don't have materials to make a shake with. Not one. Silence. Do you like balloons, servant? Your grace? Balloons. Do you like balloons, boy? I can barely recall where the balloon is, your grace. I do, though, seem to remember them from when I was a kid. Using the voice, still screaming to the others on the ship for more blue shakes, So broke open an airlock and, using a string of kinetic force, floated the man behind the ship. There's no more life in him. Then she let him go and fixed the glass of the airlock. He had looked like a balloon on a string. Several guardsmen stood stunned. Servants! Yes, your grace? One timid voice squeaked. Which sector of space are we in? The Milky Way galaxy. We're about to fly by a place called, Earth. Yes, Earth, your grace. Milky Way. There must be milkshakes there, she mused to herself. This Earth place, I mean. No, certainly they are blue, your grace. She gave an engineer a death glare. Right away, your grace. He spun to the controls. Soon they landed. We have landed, your grace. I am aware. Air seemed breathable. Indigenous life seemed humanoid, but are running about with pointy sticks, attempting to end one another's lives. I can't tell. Oh, I think it's warfare. You landed us in the middle of a humanoid war, servant? Well, I like war, but not when it's this primitive. Let us find these blue milkshakes and leave. She turned to the exit the ship. Your grace, what are the rats? What if they get off the ship? One of the guardsmen asked plaintively. Let them. No, wait, no, no. Because the rats on this ship mate with any rats here, Moog Skyfucker will be able to track us that way. We must first squire spoons. We used them all, your grace. Then we shall steal their spoons. So made a waving gesture toward the view screen. Suddenly it looked like a Vortian hailstorm. Hundreds of thousands of spoons now covered the ship. Meanwhile, each and every exorbitant of this place would wonder where their spoons went. That'd be difficult, as the ship was currently covered in a cloaking device. Now, so are the spoons. So sent the men to collect the spoons and kill the rats aboard the ship. By this time, night had nearly fallen, and people were screaming. This was Star Wars: The Lord Sith So by Fantasy Ficker. Gonna have to remove that sneeze. Gonna have to do it. You don't know what? Ow. I thought it was good. I wasn't expecting some of it. It's a different writing style. I'm gonna read the rest of it before I voice it all. I want to see where it goes. Yeah, halfway through I was like, I've got to sneeze. It was terrible. It was not fun. It was like, It was funny. Exactly. Do you like balloon? Do you like balloon? Are you gonna finish? I am gonna finish. Not tonight. Well, you gotta have some mystery. And it's 2,000 words. Do you like balloons? I like that. It sounds so menacing. Do you like balloons, boy? Just gotta get up all on the mic and just kind of like I don't know. It's one of those. The way I have it in my head is like just kind of like pull the words out. Do you like balloons, boy? Kind of like have them hanging on the edge of your words. It's great. Okay. I think we're going to do one more, and then we're probably going to end for the day. Because I don't know that I can get another one in, full one in before 10. And I'm surprised my voice is lasted. The way she killed him was kind of funny, but kind of dark but funny at the same time. It's almost like Dark Helmet. Okay. Okay, let's read one more, and then we'll just chat for a little while before I before I end the stream. How's that sound to you all? Okay. I'm the Dark Helmet. Okay, let's get this read. Okay. Okay. Timeline 3. A Magician's fanfic written by Neverland Heart. Margot watches as a girl with long, brown hair chews on her bottom lip nervously, her eyes darting all around as if something or someone is going to sneak up behind her. Which is fair, because all the rumors about break bills is not entirely unrealistic. After a few more moments, Margot takes pity on her and slides off the concrete ledge she was sitting on. Julia Wicker? Julia jumps slightly and exhales loudly when she sees Margot. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Julia blushes slightly and shakes her head, causing her curls to bounce ever so slightly. You didn't. I'm just kind of lost. Margot hums. I'm Margot. Margot Hansen. I'm supposed to take you on a tour of the campus. Julia sags in relief and fixes the book she's holding. Oh, thank fuck. Margot smirks a bit at that. Seriously, though, you don't have to be scared. Any rumor you hear was probably made by some stoned naturalist. You didn't scare me. Margot raises an eyebrow. You sure? I know I'm a little scary. Julia scoffs and pulls her hair up into a messy bun. Nope. Definitely not. If anything, I'm the scary one. Margot laughs at that. And while Julia makes sure she's gotten everything she needs, she casually eyes Julia up and down. She's beautiful. With her brown eyes and her tan skin that seems to glow underneath the sun. You? Scary? Julia looks up at Margot from long eyelashes. A glimmer of something that neither of them quite recognize. I'd ruin your fucking life. Margot cocks her head to the side. Don't see it. Sorry. What's your discipline? Oh, Dean Fogg didn't tell me my exact discipline, but I know I'm in the knowledge department. Margot inwardly groans, because, of course. Right. Okay, the library will be the last on our tour then. She starts walking, not looking back to see if Julia is following her. 2 weeks later, Margot spots Julia at a physical kids party. She's sitting by herself, a glass of wine in her hand. Margot walks over to her, taking a seat in the empty spot next to her. Hey, Julia, right? Julia gives a small smile and nods. That's me. Margot studies her for a minute. Party's not your scene? Julia laughs slightly, takes a sip of her wine. More like it's not Quentin's scene. He dragged me here for moral support. I'm supposed to be studying. You know Quentin Coldwater? They both glance over to where Quentin is sitting on Elliot's lap with his tongue in his mouth. Julie smiles and nods. Best friends since second grade. Huh. Margot looks away from them, moves her eyes back to Julia. Makes sense, I guess. There's an awkward silence before Margot stands up and reaches her hand towards Julia. Dance with me. Julia's eyes widen slightly. She lets out a surprised laugh. What? Dance with me. She wiggles her fingers. I don't bite. Much. Julia stares at her hand for a few more seconds before giving in and allowing Margot to pull her off the couch and into the middle of the floor. Julia wraps her arms around Margot's neck while Margot grips her hips. They both start to sway to the beat of the song that they don't know the name of, and Margot laughs as Julia spins them in circles. An hour later, both girls are barely dancing, simply standing and moving their bodies back and forth. Margot looks down at Julia, tucks a piece of her hair behind her ear. If I'm not reading this wrong, do you want to go up to my room? Julia grins at her. Thought you'd never ask. A month later, they're in an official relationship, much to Margot's surprise. They're sitting on Julia's bed. Julia's leaning her head against Margot's shoulder while she studies spells. Hey, so I got you something. Julia stands from the bed and pulls something from her nightstand. I know we've only been dating for a month, but... She sits back on the bed and hands Margot a small box. Margot's eyes it suspiciously before opening it. Her eyes widen slightly. She pulls out a necklace with the letter J attached to it. Jules? I know, and I know it's really High School Musical-y, but... Margot cuts her off by kissing her, gently pulling away for a few seconds. I love it! She puts it on and grins at her girlfriend. How do I look? Julia beams, leans forward to kiss her, longer this time, and they both laugh into it. Beautiful, as always. They're sitting in the library, Elliot and Quentin with them. They finally decided to tell them about the beast, and how they have to go to Fillory. Julia tries, but Margot makes it clear that she's coming, no matter what. Margot watches as Elliot stares at Julia while she dances with Quentin. I've never seen you care about something this much in a romantic sense. Margot scoffs and plays with the necklace Julia gave her. Yeah, well, I've never seen you date someone for more than a month. Elliot hums, and yet here we are, both doing new things. He clinks his glass against hers before swallowing his entirely, literally and figuratively. Margot rolls her eyes, but leans against him. You love him. Elliot kisses her forehead, and you love her. Instead of replying, Margot grabs his hands, pulls him to join the other two in their dance. 2 days later, Julia and Margot are laying in the grass on campus, eyes closed. Margot hums to let Julia know she's listening. I love you. At that, Margot opens her eyes, but doesn't make a move to sit up. You don't need to say it back. It's okay. I know you love me. I see it every time you look at me. I just need you to know I love you too. Margot simply squeezes her hand in response. The moment they step into Fillory, Julia grabs Margot's hand and intertwines her fingers. Whatever happens in there, you need to remember, I love you, Margot Hansen. Margot pulls her closer, kisses her long and deep, leaving them both gasping for breath after. Let's do this. It goes wrong. So quickly. Margot screams as Julia falls to the floor, blood pouring from her neck. No, no, no! She rips off her jacket and presses it against the wound, desperately trying to stop the blood. Stay awake, baby. You'll be okay. You just have to stay awake. Julia closes her eyes, and Margot begins to sob louder. No, Jules. Show me your eyes. Come on, Julia. She rests her forehead on Julia's stomach. Please, I love you. There's a deep chuckle behind her, and the feeling of her skin being ripped open. There's flashes of smiles, of tears, of magic, of love, and then there's nothing at all. In a small act of pity, Jane lets Margot keep the necklace. But in the next timeline, it doesn't stand for Julia. It stands for Janet. This was timeline number 3, a Magician's fanfic, written by Neverland Heart. That was good. That was really good. Like, I like that one a lot. How long have I been mute? How long have I been mute? How long was it muted? Do you guys hear the fanfic at all? Neverland Heart. I wonder what it muted then. I didn't mute it. I never touched the mic. Maybe it was when I bashed it or something? Okay, thank goodness. All I'm going to say is, welcome to the channel there. I'm a Big Axe. I don't know when it muted. I don't remember hitting the button at all. God, I need a little, at least 2 minutes. Oh, that's rough. That is rough stuff. We heard a lot of it. Okay, I looked at my recording and I have it all. So I think all of it was read there. God. It's like, no! No! Okay. I think I'm going to actually end it there because my lovely wife is on the way home. And there will end my quiet time. But I will do this next Friday. What say you all? The next Friday, doing more fanfic. If there's stuff you want to read, even just like, hey, I want to hear something from, I don't know, Starship Troopers. We are stopping on a depressing and not tonight. Okay, let's go find one that's made by the same guy as Gur and Jesus. I feel like he's got more up his sleeve. Let's see. Okay, let's read a short one. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is. How's this? I'll read it, but I won't tell you what it is. I'll read the title afterwards. This will be the ending. So, without further ado, it was a wonderful day in Hobbiton. The plants were singing, and the birds and the sun were almost down from the top of the sky. The short, hairy people were all going around doing their various activities, whatever it is they do, since video games have not been invented, and they don't have the internet to publish their fanfiction stories. We don't care about the hobbits. The One Ring had found its way to a small Mexican girl named Dora, who was an explorer who traveled around with a monkey because her parents simply do not care about her safety. For some inadequately explored reason, she was in Middle-earth. For another inadequately explored reason, she had adopted a strange new manner of speech. "Oh, Boots, the monkey that I call my friend, whenever I wear this ring of gold, I see a demonic eye made of fire, watching me with a gaze that is so cold, but soft. What man approaches me today? Perhaps it's Tom Bombadil. Hooray!" But sadly, it was not Tom Bombadil. It was Dora's good friend, Gandalf, the wizard, having utterly abandoned the hobbits to their trivial pursuits. But not the game, because that had not been invented yet. He made a request to Dora, the bearer of the One Ring. "Mexican explorer girl and monkey who wears red boots, I come from Isengard with dire news. The ring must be destroyed in the flames of Mordor, and you too shall, with no words of question, travel forth to the land of shadow that no light touches. Take thy map and thy backpack and travel on through these lands, the Dark Lord Sauron's home. The Black Tower of Barad-dûr, brave souls." Dora, knowing a great adventure when she saw one, accepted the task. She responded, "Although I do not know the way to go, I shall ask my liege the map to help me. Come forth, O map, and give us thy knowledge." The map, hearing its name, peeked out of Dora's backpack and looked in the direction of the adoring children watching TV. Seeing their smiling faces, he leapt all the way out and opened up, and then proceeded to do a dance while standing on top of himself. In the span of about 5 seconds, he broke the fourth wall and the law of physics. "How now, Dora the Explorer, your call? Upon the map, and so I answered thee. The land of Mordor, where the shadows lie, itself lies beyond many obstacles. Your quest to Mount Doom begins here, in the old forest, and ye shall take the roads on, through ruined Dower to the mines of Moria, exiting the catacombs into the forest of Lorien, home of Elrond and the elves, the fair folk of Arada. Continue to the vast plains of Rohan, and travel through the Fanghorn, land of the Ents, following the long rushing river Entwash, to Nindolf and the Dead Marshes. There ye shall gaze upon 4 fallen warriors who failed the same quest ere you started. They served, simply as a warning, nothing more. Soft. Here you shall see the towering peaks of Enlath Dunthal, the black mountains of Mordor. Keep your courage and see through your brave quest. Destroy the One Ring in the flames of Mount Doom." Dora's responded, "I shall take the quest under one simple prerequisite. The past must end after the mines of Moria. You beseech me to take the ring into Mount Doom in Mordor, but the path is long, and the winds through many locales, which I cannot express in song. I ask thee, shorten that road far ahead, to only 3 more landmarks, and nothing more." Gandalf replied, "O explorer, in whom our last lies hopes, this task or request of you cannot be made so simple. You must go ever on." Dora's face twisted in rage as she said, "Fuck!" The end. This was Dora of the Rings, a Lord of the Rings, Dora the Explorer crossover by Jason Bob Dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't believe that was a real thing. It was a small Mexican girl named Dora. Dora of the Rings. God, I hate it so much, and I love it at the same time. You need to limit it to 3 landmarks. Alright. This is children's programming. That might be one of my favorite fanfics. Short fanfics that are meant to be funny in that manner. Gurren Jesus was funny. And actually, Gurren Jesus might be funnier consistently. Do you like the balloons, boy? Fuck! I think when I publish that one, it's gonna have like some Lord of the Rings-esque music. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Let's go raid something as I drop this out. Let's go raid. See, we didn't end on a depressing note. I'll let you know. We did not. Ugh. Okay. So we're going to actually go raid Handsome live. Thank you, Derek. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. That actually means a lot. To hear someone say, hey, that was actually really good. Oops, I'm a chiptune. But yeah, thank you so much, Dora dressed up like a Sith, asking you to like balloons. Thank you. I plan on making this a Friday thing. Friday fanfics. I think it'll be a good thing to do. A good thing. I liked it. It was entertaining. It was fun. I got to hang out and talk to you all. I'd love to do it more. Next Friday for sure. Monday I'll be back with some. I'll be back with Monster Hunter or Guild Wars with Doug, and possibly one more person. So we'll now have a 3-man hunter team or something. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. Like, you guys made this possible, and you guys made this interactive. Like, I loved getting to talk to you all between stories and everything. So yeah, let's go raid Handsome Live as they are playing some Siege, Rainbow Six Siege, and yeah. If you haven't joined the Discord already, feel free to. It's a little bit more family friendly than what we have here, but as long as it's in good taste, you know. Brought to you in part by PBS. But yeah, if you're not part of the Discord, feel free to join it. Got a lot of people there. Like to have fun. Talk about games. Pussy Bitch Syndrome. Haha. Nice. So yeah, let's go raid Handsome Live, and we'll be back on Monday with more stuff. So until then, I hope you have a great weekend. Let's do this raid. Let's show them that gaming and chill, love, and that Mystic Mood are love. Because I represent both of those families. Let's do it, guys. Let's show some love. Let's have a good weekend. We'll see you next. We'll see you next week. Peace. Is it not rating?